Okay, so I've delayed coming on here and talking about this because I know this is a whole online discussion, and I feel like with the platform I have and the voice I have as an individual and as a creative, I feel like I need to air my opinion and my thoughts on everything. So I am not doing a review for Black AF. I've watched the series. I'm not doing a review on it because, in my honest opinion, I wasn't feeling the show. After the first episode, I just wasn't feeling okay with it, and I struggled getting through all the episodes on it, and just so much that I can go into, and it has nothing to do with the whole light skin thing and the whole thing with Rashida. I mean, y'all forgot her daddy was Quincy Jones, so I don't know what's that about. But just with the whole thing with just representation as a whole for content about us. And people want to argue about like, oh, people don't want to see successful Black families. There are successful Black families. Just the overall content wise, it doesn't feel like the show was made for someone like me. Because even though I grew up upper middle class in a sense, where we were up in a good neighborhood, you know, I got to go to good school. It was public, but it was a good school. You know, my parents had good jobs, and basically, you know, we did have a majority of white friends where we lived, but we also had some Black friends too. It didn't relate to me. It didn't. And I know every person's story is different. It's just with this one, it just feels like Kenya Barris is just repeating the same formula. This was really just the unfiltered version of Blackish. Because Blackish, you know, I loved it in the beginning. And then I kind of fell off a little bit, but then I got back onto it recently. Then with Grownish, you know, I loved it the first season. And then the second season, I fell off. And I only came back for the third season because Ryan was going to be in it. And y'all know I love Star to death. So they had me coming back. And then Mixed This, I didn't know how I was going to feel about that. But you know what? I ended up liking it. And, you know, people can talk about the whole light skin setup of Hollywood. That's a whole other discussion we need to have, but we need to have an honest conversation when it comes to just content in general. If we can judge regular content made by our race, our non-Black counterparts, then we have to be honest about the content made by our Black, you know, our fellow Black people. I don't know why I can't come up with words this morning, but I want to talk about how we immediately come down the throats of our own when it comes to our honest opinions. And one of the people I watch, you know, Sharonda, she wears her pale way. She does, you know, a bunch of reviews. And people came for her for having an honest opinion over the show. And it's like, can we be real about it? Can we be honest and say that it's not okay? I mean, hell, y'all have no problem coming at Empire for all its BS, but you can't come for this other show? Like, hell, you know, we love Shonda Rhimes, but that last season of Scandal was trash. We hated that ending. And I feel like, as a Black creative, if we don't agree with the mass majority, we'll end up being blacklisted from, you know, being at events and reviewing certain things. I mean, hell, it's hard for me to even go to screenings because, you know, I don't have a big enough platform, and, you know, being a female and just being Black in general. And, you know, even with like the Black stuff, like hell, even BET, when they were doing the whole BET at home stuff, I couldn't get in because really I didn't have the platform, and that, you know, some of the stuff that BET's put out, I wasn't really a fan of, you know, some of them. The rest, you know, I love, just some of it I just wasn't okay with. And it really sucks, and it's frustrating how you're trying to progress in a field where there's little representation, and sometimes even in the spaces where our own people will create for us, we're kind of being denied out of. And it's a really crappy thing. So really, it's a long conversation we need to have of why people are not up for the show. It's just, we need to be honest with ourselves and us as a people when it comes to content and what kind of thing we want to see on TV. I mean, Hell, we've complained for the longest time. We've had so many stereotypes of people who live in poverty, who live in doggone the ghetto, and who had absentee parents, and found their stereotypes for black people. We finally get some good content with Blackish, and then we had the game. I just want the whole thing of why the game ended. We had the game going up, and then we had Empire come on, and that basically fell by the wayside. And it's just frustrating how we can't have conversations anymore. We can't have conversations without getting mad at people for having a different view than we do. So that is why I'm not reviewing Black AF. So let me know in the comments down below how you feel. And also, the people who are kind of up in the show are mostly celebrities. And I feel like you have to say that, because either you had a similar experience and you feel like it's relatable, or basically you don't want to go against the majority and have yourself kind of be put in a pigeonhole. So yeah, I don't know why I forgot to put that in there, but yeah, I just need to get that out and just air my frustration, because it really sucks that we can't just have a voice over something and basically be muted for having it. So tell me how y'all feel in the comments. I'm going to have my Little Fires review later today, and I'm going to have my Versus review out later. I know I was supposed to put that out Tuesday, but y'all, I was tired after that night, and my sinuses were driving me crazy because I shot a TikTok on my porch, which was pollen infested. So I had worse sinuses the next day. I took Benadryl, and I could not shoot for the rest of the night because I was passed out of sleep. I slept for 9 hours, and I woke up at 4 in the morning. And now I'm up as if I had like 3 shots of espresso. So anyway, let me know how you guys feel in the comments. Stay safe, stay home. See you later.